I'm sorry. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
All right. Welcome, Divine Ones. Happy that you guys are here with us for another amazing night that we're going to have tonight. If you guys haven't caught on yet, every single time we have our Divine Team with Americans in Action here, our evenings tend to be transcending every time. So I hope you guys are going to be ready because it's going to be very powerful tonight because I'm going to be laying down some truths. And Ananda and Jason are always bringing truth, guys. So we're time to level up, and that's why you guys are here. You're at the right place at the right time to level up. All right. So before I introduce them, I want to give a quick shout out to the moderators. Thank you, Shells. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Kathy, for being here as always. I appreciate you, Divine Ones, so much. I'm grateful for each of you. I love you. Thank you. I'm also grateful for April Yarborough. Thank you, April, for being here. Jim Davison, thank you, Jim. Yves Poirier, thank you for being here. Jennifer's Project, thank you. Carrie Taylor, thank you for being here as well. Bad Angel Heaven, thank you very much for being here. Jordan Turley, thank you for being here, Jordan. Shauna X, thank you for being here as well. Let's see here. Love My Wings, thank you. I'm glad that you were able to catch us live as well. We appreciate that. Cohen, thank you for being here as well. Wally B, thank you, brother, for being here. Sue Lake, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see here. Wow. Look at all those hearts. What an amazing time. I mean, I just feel your guys' love. So thank you so very much. I am so grateful for you guys for being here. I really am. I've decided that I'm going to start turning it up again. We're going to start doing a lot more live shows. I'm going to be doing I'm going to reach out. I've had an intermediary contact me to do some shows with Michelle Moore. I'm going to get Mike Gill. I'm going to get Mike Gill come on as well and share his truth for us too. And I'm also going to Bruce Haynes. Thank you for showing up. Ecuador. Thank you, brother. Wow, that's just amazing. So without have our divine Ananda. Hello, divine one. How are you? And we'll bring in Jason.
Hey.
And the divine Christo. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, let me get rid of the banner here so we're not blocking anybody's beautiful faces. Well, this you're not missing much, so we don't have to worry about that. That's all good. I'm happy to see Christo with us tonight. You look more refreshed and not as tired as you did the other night.
Oh man, what a trip that was. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden I was besieged by something. As soon as I got off, I threw up 4 times. It was crazy, unbelievable. And then after that, I kind of just laid down and I guess I went to dreamland because, but when I woke up, I was all better.
Well, just good. Crazy. Well, I'm happy you're here with us again tonight, brother.
So, I had 2 corns on top. What were we saying? Right. What'd you say, Emil?
I said, I'm happy that you're here with us. And I was just saying hello to Debbie Stevens. She's in here amongst all the attendees.
Oh, that's not familiar, that name.
So,
Debbie Stevens. Let me see.
Yeah, that's a familiar name, right? CB's daughter says, hello, Christo, Ananda, and Jason. Glad to see you.
Hi,
we love you big.
Daughter. Hello, darling.
Yeah, that's Shelly. Shells. Yep. Ananda, we can't hear you, Ananda. Well, she's giving us an air heart. That's okay. All right. Well, last show was a barn burner of a show. You know, I had a chat I did the other night, Sunday night. I decided I want to share at that time, I wanted to share some information with my audience as related to Maui. But it's much bigger than just a simplistic attack by the deep state there. But before we dive in there, do you guys want to talk about, do you guys have an upcoming event in Philadelphia, I believe? Is that correct?
Yes, Lancaster, PA, Philadelphia. It's about an hour from Philly, and we're really excited. People are piling in at the last moment, and we're very excited. It's a 3-day event. First day, we cover repudiation in detail, and the other 2 days, we go into trust law and also some other new situations that I shall not say here, but it's going to be thrilling, and everybody's thrilled about it. Thank you for mentioning it, and that's this weekend. And no matter where you are in the world, you can stream in. If that isn't amazing, I don't know what is. Just Ananda, it's Laura Matika, right? She's the host. You are muted. Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, dear.
Just try to push any buttons at all. Push Jay's button. You do that all the time.
Now it shows she's unmuted on my end. Is your volume turned up?
She was inspired by the Charlie Chaplin opening, and she went silent film.
Anyway, you can just shake your head yes and no and okay.
Put up little signs of what you're saying.
Well,
little writing.
You can't see the closed captioning here.
Hey, listen, I just found out about this. I don't know if it's true or not, but just a little update. I heard that David Straight's house was raided. The sheriff came in, and they're trying to steal his land. They have, of course, Bondi still is in jail. And, you know, there's so many things about David Straight and everything. And I know his heart's in the right place, but, you know, maybe messes up here and there. But you know what? He's coming after someone that's trying to free themselves from the tyranny. So, you know, we should pray for him anyhow. He's a child of God. And so it was just sad to hear that. These guys just won't stop. Just horrendous. And, you know, at the proper time, ML, I want to talk in detail about what it means to be truly in the kingdom of heaven, because there's so many misunderstoods on that. And I feel that people are selling themselves short, and they're thinking that that's the kingdom of heaven. And it's not even on the front porch. And so I want to go into detail, if you don't mind, at the appropriate time, maybe later in the show.
Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. Yep. Here we go.
Okay, you bet.
So, kingdom of heaven, what is that really?
Well, no, go ahead, brother. Please do.
Okay, I will. So, we know that they use black magic. We know that there's higher energies, higher meaning more profound energies that most humans don't recognize or deal with. We know that they have alien influence, utilizing certain energies as well. And with that, what do? You know, it's the kingdom of heaven is a consciousness and an awareness where there is no thought. Can you imagine the experience of no thought? Well, the higher meditations, prayer that one can do in themselves, they can start to transcend the thoughts or the thinking mind. And this is essential for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven. It's a transcendence. Now, when I say transcendence, what does that mean? Well, this life on planet Earth, if anyone has heard the name or the word Maya, M-A-Y-A, it means illusion. And it's said that this outside world, this world on planet Earth, is really an illusion because it involves so many nefarious situations that you can get yourself into that is very painful. Kingdom of heaven has no pain, doesn't exist. When you transcend, if you have an aching foot or anything wrong with your body, when you are in that transcendence, that no longer applies. It just melts away while you're in the kingdom of heaven. How do you really get into the kingdom of heaven, and how do you know you're in? Believe me, you will know. It is the most amazing, the most transcendent, loving, blissful consciousness and awareness. And it's really, truly how God made this planet and what he had in mind for it. Until Satan attacked the planet. And now we're dealing with that. But it's essential that we discover how to enter into the kingdom of heaven, especially if you have charges and citations and their arrest and everything, they're coming after you that way. Or they're coming after you in your food and all the chemicals and you're getting poisoned. You must remember how to enter into the kingdom of heaven, where we are all one. It's a consciousness of total unity. It's a consciousness of all of God. Now, the entrance point into being able to experience this phenomena is feeling your feelings, is being able to become one with the emotions that you judge to be horrible, terrible, devastating. I don't want to go there. We have a saying in the work that we do when we work with people. We have to go where we've never gone before. If you have a feeling that you go, oh, I just hate that feeling. I just don't want to talk about it. This is the very place you have to go. And what I mean by have to go, an emotion that you hate or you don't like or you judge to be horrible, terrible, devastating, and you just, no, leave me alone. For that emotion to be healed, for that energy to be freed up, you have to learn, remember, how to become one with, in other words, we're coexisting here, that emotion that you hate. Now, guess what? Hatred of self produces rocky road in the world, produces all kinds of just awful things to happen to good people.
Mm-hmm.
So the rocky road, the feeling of these emotions that you hate them, that is one's self-hatred. Let me say that again. Any feelings that you have from past experiences that you don't like that experience, we can go as far as saying we hate that feeling. We don't want anything to do with it. That is your self-hatred. If you don't become a yes to those feelings and do your work, this is spiritual work. Emotions are energy in motion. These energies, if the emotion is not dealt with and it houses in your bodies, yeah, we'll talk about that later. We have 13 bodies. Houses in your bodies, it's stuck. It's no longer emotion. It's indulgence of energy that if it stays stuck, guess what happens to it? It starts to turn physical. And that's how disease is created in the body. So many people over the years, I've been doing this for 35 years, so many people that open up to become one with those feelings, heal their body. Oh my God. And you enter into another consciousness that isn't experienced by most every day. And we need to do this. Do you know why? Being in the kingdom of heaven, there's no black magic that can hurt you. You can look at it like this, and this is going to be controversial. The energy of God, our beloved Father, is neutral. It's life energy, creator life energy He bestowed upon us. This energy, if you do good things with this energy and you love people, you help people, you're in service, you create beauty, this is white energy. If you take the energy and you hurt people and kill people and lie and cheat, this is dark, black energy. Do you see where I'm getting to?
Yep.
We need to remember how to be in the kingdom of heaven. So we have, I'll say it poetically, a fighting chance of those people that are using black magic, because white energy, God-loving energy, is more powerful than anything dark. What happens when you turn the light on to a dark room? It's no longer dark. Can't survive in the light.
Mm-hmm.
And we are all amazing light beings with, you know, the essence of us is absolute love. How can it not be? We come from our Creator. We're children of God. Of course we are light. We are more powerful than any mind would ever let you know. You know, I always say this. People that stay in the intellect and intellect everything, guess what happens? They don't experience life, because life is experienced with energy. Two energies of two lovers coming together. The energy is so wonderful. It's so hot. It's so amazing. With your Creator, the energy is so amazing, so loving, so, energy. We are this. And you are 100% unconditional love. You are standing right next to the Creator in the arms of your Father. And we miss the boat if we stay in our intellect, because guess what? You can't think God. You can't
The
think
ego that gets in our way.
You can't do it because the mind cannot have love. Do you see? Here's one other item. Very important to realize if you don't already. We are all a duality. We are not one. God the Father is one. And we have to return to the love. We have to return to the kingdom. We have to return to the one. Get rid of the duality and become one. Single-sightedness. The duality is this. You have conflict in your life. You have conflict in choices that you want to do. Oh, I want to go over there to the mountains, but I better not. My mother will get upset. I better not because it won't look right. That's conflict. Guess what? In the kingdom of heaven, no conflict. In the kingdom of heaven, you observe life and you allow energy. In the intellect, if you're in your intellect, you're in that the duality, the dark duality that does not see God. Because as I said, you can't think God. You can't think love. You can only experience it energetically by opening up your heart. Breath is very important. And breath, proper breath. There's a thing called pranayama. Some of you heard of it, I'm sure. Maybe a lot of you do it. Prana means rarefied oxygen.
Mm.
So when you breathe consciously, like how many breaths do you take a day? 4 million, you know? How many are conscious? Not many. It's automatic, involuntary. When you breathe consciously, because you are in the image of God, breathing consciously brings God consciousness to the breath, and it changes into prana. That rarefied oxygen that brings eternal life to you. Breathing consciously. You should every day, at least 20 minutes, sit down and breathe and bring the breath all the way down, out the perineum, all the way up, out the heart chakra. Fill your auric field with that beautiful love consciousness. God consciousness. Do you know that the term Christ, and we heard Jesus Christ, right? The term Christ actually means natural. So when you say Christ consciousness, you're saying natural consciousness. Ladies and gentlemen, the way most of us are experiencing life, where we're separate from everything. We see a tree, the tree's over there, we're separate. We see our lover, the lover's over there, separate. Guess what it does? It unites us energetically, where we coexist energetically. Watch this. Coexist. Here's the feeling. Here's you. If you don't feel it, what is the experience? It's separate from you. Guess what the definition of pain is? Separate. If you and your wife or husband or your lover and something happened and you're separate, the energies aren't together. Ooh, that's an awful feeling. It's painful. Then you talk a little bit and you do this, you do that, and you heal up. Boom. Coexist again. It's loving again. A lot of people are afraid of energy because when you allow energy, there's no controlling it. The head, the intellect, wants to control everything. And that's the only people that aren't in control. So you have to open up your heart and you have to utilize breath and you have to take a feeling that something may be up for you right now. And you grab that feeling that you don't like and you talk to it like a little baby ML. And you say, I know of your pain, but I'm going to allow you to be experienced by me, maybe for the first time this lifetime. Come into me. You have to be a lover. You have to bring that feeling in because you're going to seduce the feeling so that you become one. There's that one. Coexistence. Right then, your duality ceases and you enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now you can feel the feeling and you go, oh, that was good. Pretty cool. You didn't feel it. You only pretended. You know how you can know if you truly coexist with a feeling? And I call that feeling a feeling to fruition. Because the reward you get is you enter into the kingdom truly, where there's no more thought. You're free of conflict, of duality. You're one with your creator, truly. Magnificent. In that, there's nothing that can disturb you. There's no nefarious activity can hurt you. Now, in that, and this is what we do at our workshops, in that, when you are up against the nefarious, whether it's the court system, law enforcement, or policy enforcers, whatever it is in the nefarious side, you remain in the kingdom of heaven. They are not going to be successful in how they want to hurt you. I see it every day. The documents that we all work with and that Ananda and Jason are really brilliant at, those without the awareness and consciousness being in the kingdom of heaven are only 40 or 50% potent. When you enter the kingdom of heaven and you handle the court system either in personam or administratively, and you're sending documents as you're in the no thought, you can do a document with no thought. You can enter and send a letter and no thought. It's a whole different way of life. It's how God meant this to be. It's so wonderful and so beautiful and so loving. We're no longer separate from each other. We have events and we do things and this and that. And if we stay social, we're not going to really coexist that much. But when we start to feel each other energetically, and we start to allow and become a yes to everything that we are, this is how you enter into the kingdom of heaven. And this is called self-love. And it's so important to possess self-love. So if you possess self-hate and you refuse to do this work, how are you going to treat yourself? What kind of things will you pull in hatred or anger? As opposed to if you're in self-love, how are you going to treat yourself and what are you going to pull in energetically? Yeah, you're going to pull in say, strawberry shortcake or whatever you love, right? So over the years, the people that I've been working with and that now we work with them, their life changes dramatically. It is phenomenal what happens. Because this, I feel, and this comes from very ancient teachings, this is what we need to do and what we need to be in order to reclaim God's planet once again. I hope I explained this, that you can take it in and really see what I'm talking about, because I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 35, 40 years, and it has changed my life dramatically. And I love God that much more. I never thought I could love more, and I do. Because your heart expands, because now you're actually taking time in your life to be in heaven until one day, because you do it every day. One day it'll be 5 minutes. Next day it'll be half an hour, then an hour, then 2 days. All of a sudden, it'll permanently become you. And it's called becoming the Christ, conscious man and woman. And this is what we are supposed to do. This is the answer to the riddle. I'm telling you, it's so wonderful. I don't know what else I can say about it, but I will say this, that we get so many comments because they say, when they find us, people find us and they go, oh my God, you're what I'm looking for. And we go, what are you talking about? David Street does it. All kinds of people do. No, nobody brings in the spirituality like you guys do. And that's what I was looking for. So anyway, I hope that you like what I shared with you. God bless us all. Thank you so very much. If you have any questions about it, you need any coaching about it,
in this movement,
we are here for you.
Yep.
AmericansInAction.info. Oh, by the way,
awesome.
Years ago, when I was doing this work and going around the country to do these spiritual work, I'm bringing back, it's called Spirit Awareness Foundation. Spirit Awareness Foundation. And we're having workshops that happen every week online. And then we'll have like in-person workshops, like one every 2 or 3 months. So stay in touch. I love you. Thank you. Thanks, ML, for the opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. You okay, Ananda?
Is my mic working?
Yes.
It is.
Fabulous. That was profound, beautiful, channeled, insightful. It is the basis of the work, and you articulated it so beautifully. So I'm having my own experience here, just receiving the information and maintaining that open heart. And I love that you focused on the breath. The breath work is, there's a saying. I sat with a very wise shaman many years ago, and he said that the way to master the mind is not through the mind. We don't think our way to the solutions. He says that in order to master the mind, you first must master the breath. So if you master the breath, you master the mind. And what happens when you breathe is you become settled. Be still and know that I am. And when we are still, the mind chatter settles down. And you just know. You have that inner knowing. The kingdom of heaven is within. Even Charlie Chaplin said it. God is within. God is within all of us, not just a few of us. So that is for me. Oh, and then parlaying it with the emotional aspect, because I see the breath as the river that the emotion rides on. So now I'm not thinking the emotion, I'm breathing, and the emotion is allowed. You cannot think emotion. You can only feel emotion. But how do we feel? The breath is a tool to get you more in touch. And also, I've found that the energy, when we go through the indoctrination camps called public school or sometimes private school, we are taught to bring the energy up into the head, into the brain. And when we do that, the mind, it becomes overactive and we become exhausted and depleted. But if we can bring that energy back down into the heart, you can even tap on your heart to activate your memory of feeling. This is where feeling exists, not up here. Now we're burning less calories. We have renewable, sustainable life force energy. And Christo spoke of that through the breath with the refined oxygen, the prana, refined life force energy that we breathe in, and we are being renewed constantly.
That's right. As a matter of fact, to put that in there, Ananda, that you can bring the breath to any part of your body.
Mm-hmm.
You can direct the breath to any part of your body. The breath is the healer. So if you have a pain in your arm, you can breathe in and you direct it into your arm. I experienced this so many times, ache here, ache there. And it's like, I bring the breath there and it's like, it's a healing. It's healing because it's oxygen. And wherever oxygen is in the body, disease cannot exist. Remember that. And you have the power to bring in oxygen. How wonderful a breath is. We should take at least one breath a day conscious and say, I am so grateful, Father, for this breath. Thank you so very much for my life. How amazing is that? So you're so right there with the breath. Pranayama, there's over 900 pranayama breathing techniques. And they are amazing because in that, some of them that I teach, in that, you would never think of doing that with the breath. Oh my God. And you'll have experiences even the first time you do it. It's so phenomenal. Isn't that true, Ananda?
It is. It's so true. You also touched on that this is what we are, energy in motion. So if we're energy in motion and we have pain in the body, that's just stuck energy. That's stuck emotion. So if you bring the breath to the area, you're bringing life force energy to the area, it's going to allow the energy to move. It gives it a channel, a little river to ride out of the body on. And so it's so powerful. Now we're energy in motion, emotion, energy in motion. Nothing's stagnant in the body anymore. And that brings that fluidity. It's like a light energy, that oxygen, life force energy that's activating the cells in the body, reminding the DNA that we are renewable beings. Bodies were meant to be self-healing. And all of this illusionary nonsense that the Nefarians want us to believe is true, that we're supposed to deteriorate and die young, it's a bunch of garbage. I remember reading in biblical times, people would live to be 700 years old and beyond, over 1,000 years old. So what happened?
Yep.
It devolved. But now we have tools that we can remember and start putting ourselves back together again. We're putting the pieces, we've been fragmented, and we're putting ourselves back together again. We're holding ourselves. We're becoming holistic.
That reminds me, Ananda, when you said that, is like even the big pharma there that takes the original natural pine or whatever element and herb there is, they found that that is really works to heal the body, but they can't make money off of it because you can't patent a natural product. So they put chemicals in it and poisons in it, and now that it's man-made, you can patent it, just like they did with the thing that they call COVID, which never existed, the flu. They patented the flu because it was man-made, but it's, you know, the whole scam of COVID never existed really. Yet so many people have bought it. Go ahead, please continue, Ananda.
Thank you. Yeah, well said. You know, and it reminded me of Dr. David Martin connected the dots, and that the natural, you know, these things from the earth are not supposed to be patented, and they're taking these natural biologics and putting a patent on them, claiming to own God Almighty. They even put God in all caps, G-O-D. I've heard some people refer to it as gold, oil, and drugs. But I like what Jay says. When you go down into the natural world, into our true essence and our republic, right? One nation under God, united, right? That unity consciousness. Jay says, grantor of dominion. God, G-O-D, grantor of dominion. And it's just such a different way to live. It's love. It's just pure. Like, I think more people want it than don't. I think that a lot of people just got caught up in the system. The system got, like, it just turned into a monster. There's so
Jason,
many.
I've never seen you be so quiet for so long. Does the cat have your
right?
I'm just enjoying the meditation energy, but I was also looking at, as I was listening to you guys, it goes back to what Christo said at the very beginning. The only thing that's real is energy. And if you don't think that the Nefarians know about it, they disclose it and they use the energy, like Christo was saying, for nefarious purposes. And how do they disclose it? Well, we just covered that energy in motion is emotion. So if you ever walk into a courtroom, what do they say? File a what? A motion. What do they say that in that scamdemic? If the breath is really what is life, as Ananda was bringing in and parlaying back onto what Christo was saying, then why do you think they were telling you to put on a mask? Why do you think they were denying your very life force energy? It has nothing to do with everything that they do is tapping into the neutrality of the wisdom because it's there, but they're using it, as Christo was saying, for a nefarious purpose. And the neutral energy doesn't say yay or nay. It just says, oh, okay, you use me how you wish. The way you override it is you use that same energy to be aware of it, and then you put in your intention and purpose for a higher experience, and they're using it for a lower experience, but it's the same energy. They're talking about the breath, so they deny it with a mask. They're talking about energy in motion, so they call it emotion in court. And then they talk about language, about breathing, and also standing, which is biblical principles. It's right there in Matthew. You stand. I mean, everything is always right there, but it's just which side of the coin are you going to look at? And so the discernment has to come through you knowing from within where you can look and decipher. So it's really quite obvious that it's all just a spiritual journey. It just depends upon what the intention is behind it, which, by the way, is also the fundamentals of trust. A trust is neutral. It's just there's nothing. You can have an empty trust, right? But it still exists. But it doesn't go into motion. There's that word again. Or until you have part of an element of a trust is intention and a purpose. And then it goes from there. If you don't have those two elements to create a trust, you have nothing but neutral energy again. So that's exactly what they do. They have the neutral energy. They put their intention and purpose, which is to destroy. And then Christo and everyone who's resonating to this comes in and says, okay, now we're going to use neutral energy with an intention for life. So it's just a really beautiful thing to see how the law of love is all that exists, but the law of what we quote unquote teach, which is the law of love, trickle down into the law, is all the same.
I love that.
I love that you talked about the law of love. It's so interesting. There's a sacred chant, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. In Buddhism, it's called a gohanzen. It's an altar. And the altar holds the focus of the chant, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It's part of what's called the Lotus Sutra. And the sutra defined is when we speak the truth, it's the vibration of our voice that is bringing the truth. That is the sutra. So whenever we get together on the Truther show with ML and we speak truth, we are praying a prayer for God Almighty to bring this truth, to preserve the way for the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas who came before us, who handed the torchlight to us, for us to be the way showers. As we secure our oxygen mask, we help others to secure theirs. It is the way. And honestly, when you receive a gift like this wisdom, if you don't share it, you will self-destruct. You will implode. You must share it. It is part of the way. And the way is love. How interesting that the Gohansen, the sacred altar that holds the energy, the refined energy of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas from the ancient through the years, right? Starting with I'm not going to say it right, Gautama Buddha, the original Buddha, right? But all the way through and through the centuries, right? And it holds this. But it just dawned on me 2 nights ago when I'm sitting in front of the Gohanzen and I'm praying and I'm chanting and I'm going, this holds the law. We've been chanting for over 20 years. I actually started chanting when I was 17 and somebody brought me Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I didn't realize at the time, but my soul might have, but I didn't realize at the time what it was. It's upholding the law. It is the law, and the law is love. So when we teach the law, we're actually teaching about love. And it's so simple. And then, of course, Thomas Jefferson is known for saying, that the law was written in the hearts of all men and women, as we know. But that's where it's at. That's why we go back and you look to your heart, not to your head, for the answers. So quit intellectualizing. Go have a dance party.
That's right.
Do some jumping jacks. Come on, man.
I just remembered something. This is an amazing book. You guys got to get it. It's by Osho, O-S-H-O, Osho. It's called The Mustard Seed, and it's about the life and teachings of Jesus. And oh my God, it's so wonderful. Find it, you guys. You're going to love it for sure. The Mustard Seed, that book by Osho. Anyway, I just remembered that.
Awesome. I love it. Well, you guys haven't disappointed again. We're having a transcending meeting here once again. So, that's why we're here.
You know what we can do one time, ML? I can actually guide a pranayamic
in their life right
breathing technique on the show here. What do you think? What do you feel? Did you hear what my question was or statement?
Sure.
I think there's a sound delay or something on the show right now.
There's a big delay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So my question statement was,
if you wouldn't mind, Christo.
Oh, okay. So my question or statement was, sometime, either another show or whatever, I can guide a pranayamic session and everybody can have an opportunity to experience it. And in that session, I actually describe where to take the breath. And oh my God, it would be an amazing experience. What do you think, ML?
Let's do it next week. Let's do it on the next one. That way
We'll do it.
time. I'd like to get as many people here as possible.
Yeah. Okay. We're
That
on
would be
next
an
week.
amazing opportunity. Great
Oh,
exercise.
yeah. It'll
Let's
be
do
so
that.
much fun, and we'll have amazing experiences
Yeah,
that people
we'll do
will
it.
have. I love it.
I'm
Thank you.
looking
That's
forward to
awesome.
I'm giddy. I just learned that Amy Satori is watching
Yeah.
our live show.
Oh, yeah. I
God
said hi
bless
to
you,
Amy.
Amy, we love you so much. Oh my God.
Amy, I heard a rumor that you were going to move in with Americans in Action in the forest. Is that true?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, this night is really
By the way,
spectacular.
we are open for that because we know that this is the time of tribes, and all the people have to start to unite together in tribes to survive, to support, and people of like mind and like heart that love God and love to be in service. So if anybody's interested in living in 40 amazing acres in the forest doing this type of work, give us a call. We've already had 2 takers, so we're excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
includes
it's
you,
definitely
ML.
calling. It's a calling. It's not like you wake up one day and you
That's
just
awesome.
decide.
And you
It's
do this
definitely
work
calling.
every day. So what happens is in sociality, when you're in social consciousness, you're actually using a lot of communication thoughts and this and that. So you kind of go drift into the head, and it divorces you from feelings, unless you're talking about something so succinct as pranayama, as God, as Jesus, whatever. And it's like, oh my God. So with that, it's important to realize that all of us coming together as one unit. I mean, can you imagine like 50 tribes or more around the nation of like anywhere from 100 to 5,000? And we're living the truth of God our Father, living the truth of how we should be living. That is the republic right there. So guys, you got to be ready for the change. Don't wait till the nefarious attacks in different ways that they're trying to separate us all over the place. You know that with the trans stuff, and that's what the different religions and different languages were all about. They did it way back when. Just separate, separate, separate. What's the definition of pain? Oh yeah, separate. And don't forget another reminder. If you're separate from any of your emotions, from your experiences, because you don't like the way they feel and you refuse to coexist with it, by the way, when you coexist, that feeling melts away and turns into love. And that's your entrance ticket into the kingdom of heaven. So anyway, tribes is it. So I'm bouncing all around and I love it because it's spontaneous communication. That's the only place life is. If you do something and you're doing it from the mind and you're controlling it, well, what time are you going to do this? Well, what's going to happen there? Oh, how boring. Oh my God. Spontaneity. That's where life is in the moment. And I'll mention this one other time because I love this thing. They call present time, and that's the wrong name for it. Why is it? Because present time is the only place that the greatest illusion of time doesn't exist. So they should have called it no time. Doesn't that make sense? Oh, sorry, made sense. We had another saying too. If it makes sense, it's probably not right because making sense is of the intellect. And God makes no sense whatsoever. I love that about our God. Are we having a good time yet?
I love it. I love it.
Hey, you
We're
guys,
having a great time.
Yeah.
I'm just having internet issues here. No.
Yeah, it happens. Oh, Amy said,
Redneck internet.
we said you're moving. She said, ha, 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 ha. And she said, one day it's on my wish list. Okay, we're going to hold you to that. Amy Satori is amazing. ML, you should talk with her. She's great if you haven't already.
She's one of the most psychic women I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Profound. She has these cool cards that, like spirit animal cards, so that you can tap into your pets, your beloved pets, and find out what's going on with them. Like a little tarot card spread for your pets. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And you know, honestly, one of our
that's really nice.
And we pulled one of the cards, and I really feel like what the card said was what the dog was trying to communicate to us. And I mean, it was heartfelt. It was very emotional. And I'm like, wow, these cards are amazing. It's Amy's Awakened Alliance, and I think she's got Amy Satori. If you just do an internet search, you can find her stuff online. She's lovely, like-minded, like-hearted. We are one.
She's also
Awesome.
she's also
That's wonderful. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. She's also a courageous woman to stand, because she does a lot of wonderful administrative processes, and she's a pretty brilliant, bright light on this journey with everyone.
And that's really important, Jason, because of the fact that you got to find something to stand, because we got to activate God's law. And each time we stand, we are activating it. So if you're not in trouble yet, go get in some trouble so you can stand. I'm just